Hello and welcome to Pink Pony Talk with me, Abby Railton, and Stu the Saluki. In this brand new podcast, we'll be understanding horses from an ethical, science-based and connection-focused perspective. We're looking to break some of the stereotypes and traditional ways of thinking about horses, instead trying to understand them for who they are, not what they can do. We'll be speaking with equine professionals who are working to provide their services, knowledge and healing to horses and their owners. We'll also be looking at some of the breakthrough research into horse care, management behaviour and understanding how this helps us to create happier horses and more harmony between horse and human. New episodes will release every Sunday on Spotify and YouTube, and you can follow us over on Instagram and TikTok at Pink Pony Talk. And we look forward to having you along for the ride. So in today's episode, we're going to be speaking with Anna Olivia Braylin. Anna works with horses and dogs and their humans, providing intuitive animal communication to facilitate healing and deeper connection between animals and humans. We're going to be speaking about how Anna got into this work, her journey and relationship with her own dogs, and how this has informed the work she does now. So, Anna Olivia Braylin, hello, welcome to Pink Pony Talk. How are you today?
Hi, Abby. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your talk show.
No, thank you. First guest of the podcast, so exciting times. So, can you start by telling us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes. So, as you said, I'm Anna Olivia Braylin, and I have my business Soul Awakening. My work revolves around helping people build deeper, more meaningful connections with their animals, and that in turn is with themselves too. I'm an animal intuitive communicator, a transformational coach, and an energy healer. So I work on all levels and look at everything holistically. I guide people to tune into their animals and beyond, the body language, the surface level stuff that we're seeing, the stories that we're telling ourselves. And I help them to understand the unspoken wisdom that our animals share. I'm also bringing in and teaching my pause, breathe, do you method to help people to bring more presence and self-awareness for themselves. And in doing this work, for me, this has really found my passion of being able to bridge the gap between the two worlds, between the animals and where we feel that people might feel that they're separate from us, and the truth of who we are and why we come together and what that is. And yeah, that's in a nutshell kind of who I am and what I do right now. And it spreads into everything that I do. It's not separate from my parenting and my family and my relationships with everybody. It just is inbuilt in the wholeness of all that I am. Yeah.
Lifestyle, really.
It is, yeah. And yeah, I definitely found or come back to my essence within there and the truth of who I am. And then finding the way forward to how I bring this to the world and share it to get others to be able to do the same with the journey that I've been on. And and help those get empowered in a way that is true and sustainable and connecting. Yeah.
Must have been quite a journey to get there. Can you tell us a bit about how you found your way into this work?
It is a journey for sure. And definitely, I mean, I was very lucky as a child that we grew up on a small holding. My mum had a free-range chicken farm. But it put that in context. She'd also go to the farm with her hair all done with a can of hairspray to hold it all in place, and maybe the most inappropriate clothing that you would wear as you go and do and feed the animals in. So she wasn't your conventional little small holder. So she she brought an element of uniqueness and the connection of the animals and the land. So it was quite bizarre upbringing in that way, quite unconventional and could be quite crazy at times. And yet then my dad was the other side of very much family values, very much a man of, at the time, church. And yeah, sort of a very different role model. More for me, brought me the peace side of the security, the strength of somebody who wasn't quite so different as my mother was. But that uniqueness set me on a good path. Going forward, that then when I went traveling, and I traveled, and I went to New Zealand and Australia, and I worked on the as a woofer scheme with the willing workers of organic farming, and found myself going to different farms and different places to be able to see and experience how that was and the different cultures. And I found it absolutely fascinating and awe-inspiring, and really, really wanted to do more in the world. But then I kind of then headed back to the UK, got caught back into family, back into my mum, back into her energy, back into everything there. And before I knew it, I was then having my children, my daughters, quite young, so it's 25, when motherhood started. And that then took me on that journey with the girls, and kind of took me away from that essence of myself, of that connection, that deep connection to the land and the animals. And I started to sacrifice those parts of me in that time, thinking that I needed to give my whole to them. And of course, this then led me more on my journey of self-discovery, of really having to come back to myself and find myself again. So it's a beautiful piece that once they got to a certain age, that is sort of really, well, I suppose I started doing, and I did Reiki 2011. So yeah, that was a while ago, when the kids were little, and the girls were little. And then I kind of dipped in and out of it and realized that as I was doing the energy work and working in there, I was finding that people were coming through from the other side when I was in there, and I didn't know quite how to work with that. I was finding that people were bringing through a lot of deep emotional trauma that came up to be healed, and I felt that I wasn't equipped, so I needed to go on a deeper journey, but I wasn't able to do it right at that time, with juggling being a mum and going through that journey, and then getting ready to prepare to do my own. But that time came in 2019. My mum passed, and the girls were at a different age, and everything changed in my life. And then I was able to go deeper into the healing work with myself. And this is when I really started, working on me. And that's where we connected in 2020 when we were on the course. So 2020 really till now has been deep work on self, huge transformation, and deep training within this work that has transformed my life and got me on the path that I'm on now. So yeah, it didn't just happen overnight. It certainly has been a journey, and still is, but I'm definitely on a very different part of that journey right now going forward. Yeah.
Amazing. So we'll get on to talking about the horses, but first of all, after you've shared all that, could you tell us a bit about your first business, your dog walking business?
Yes, my pause for thought. So that got me out of, I was in early years. I had childminding business, and I was in an early years and working with forest school. And I really just wanted to get back to the animals. I loved the children, but it was going down social care and Ofsted and all these regimes that I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go into ticking boxes and everything else. So yeah, pause for thought came to life. And in that got me back to the animals. And also in that, also another reason for doing that was with Harvey, my spaniel, or as spaniel, really my eldest daughter's spaniel. It was her birthday present. He came in for her 10th birthday, but goodness, did he come in to transform my life in a completely different way. But I needed to get to know him better too. So that's why I went down the dog route and thought, okay, going to set up and do dog walking. I can fit this in around my family life. I enjoy doing that, taking that on. But quickly, even with that, I realized very early on, actually, this goes deeper. Again, I'm not fully equipped because I was being given clients who needed more, the dogs that needed more. And I was aware of this, that I realized that actually, so I brought that into fruition in 2016. And in that process, then I trained in 2020. It took me a while to take the plunge to then become the dog trainer and train and do the canine body language. Body language training, so that I could understand them more and be able to bring more. And in that, then I was realizing, and as COVID hit and everything changed, it was like, oh, the humans really need a lot of help. It's not really the dogs. And then it was like, oh, yeah, Harvey, I see what you're doing. Okay, you've got me doing this training and on this journey, but again, it's about me, about what I needed to do for me. So it's it was great to get to know the instincts, but also to debunk all the old stuff that's gone on with the dogs, especially as well. I mean, it's the same with the horses. But all these old theories and these old perceptions and these old ways that actually were still residing in me. It was a wonderful piece to be able to bring that through and start educating other people within Pause for Thought, and my clients and ourselves. It was hands-on training to bring in the newness of actually what's out there. Bring in the holistic work, the energetics, to work with the Teleton Tea Touch, to work with homeopathic remedies, to work with the new ways of positive reinforcement, and how all that worked, and how then we could then work with our clients to work with that as well, with their animals, with their dogs when we weren't with them. And yeah, that's when I saw that piece that was missing again, that wasn't there. And I needed to do some more training with myself, or I was doing that alongside it as well, to be able to hold space for the humans to be able to do the work on themselves so that they could see their dogs in front of them, so that they could feel what they were bringing, how they were reacting, what that was. I could just feel the dog training and doing the dog walking. It wasn't, again, it got me on it, but it wasn't enough. And it was like, there's another piece to the jigsaw puzzle. So each time I did all these stepping stones, it was like, there's another piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Would you like to take it? Would you like to step forward and learn it? Which I did. And that took me down the coaching side. That took me down the equine therapy side. Yeah. Yeah. Whole new piece.
Yeah, I really resonate with a lot of that. When I was getting into this kind of work, it was with the horses, and with when I got my dog Ada, going down all the training stuff. But then you kind of reach a point where you're like, this isn't going anywhere anymore, and it's actually not about them, it's about how I am responding to them. It's what I'm projecting onto them, my very human ideas of what they should be, who they should be, and it's breaking down all that will then allow them to be who they are and our relationship to blossom. So yeah, I really resonate with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. It is breaking down those barriers, isn't it? It's really that. And of course, I was doing this work with my eldest daughter, with Olivia as well. So we did the training together, we did everything together, and actually doing the dog training course itself, and learning all this, I see where it helped us. It helped us to build our confidence, to find our voices, because even within that training, we had to come on social media, do videos. We watched back the videos of Olivia and I going, sort of like, we just didn't want to show up on the videos. We're just going, oh no, do that one again. We were criticizing ourselves, judging ourselves. We're like, gosh, if we're doing this for just a video, what are we bringing generally each time we show up? Um, and so it really got us to feel into the depths of all this old stuff we were holding on to. And again, then seeing my clients and the humans that when I would go and be with them and be with their dogs and themselves, could then see that part that they were holding on to and how I could help bring them and soften them into the fullness of themselves rather than the judgment and the criticism that we're still playing out in the head, and all the old stories. So it was a great synchronicity of us coming in with our building our confidence whilst letting go of the old stories, while letting go of the old narrative of everything that we've been told, all these systems, and debunking us. You know, it wasn't just debunking the myths of the dogs, it was debunking the myths of humans and how we've been told, how we've been indoctrinated, the stories we've been told, the money doesn't grow on trees story, and who do you think you are? And you must be just seen and not heard. And it's like all these little tweaks in here that we're then passing on and bringing into our animal companions. So honestly, it was a massive initiation when I look back now and I feel into who I was prior, and Olivia too, who we both were. And of course, we were interwoven. My first daughter, the what that put on her and the expectations of me, we got to really do some really deep work together in this as well, that has been huge for us. Like now she's traveling in Australia and doing her own thing in her own way, which is beautiful that we went through that transition to be able to do this, because that was all part of it. And of course, it was Harvey, her birthday dog, who came in and she chose. So it was always going to be about her and me and her and Harvey and this transition to get to where we needed to be able to go on to the next piece, the next part of our journey. So yeah, when you start unraveling it, it's it's a massive ball, this woven ball, and then the thread, you're like, okay, oh, there's more. But it's wonderful. And I had to go through, I had to create pause for thought. I had to go through that journey, and we had to go through that journey. And Olivia needed to leave pause for thought for me then to go, oh, I think I'm done with this now. I actually don't want to carry this part on my own. I'm ready to do something else, but not quite knowing what that is or what that was. And of course, COVID hit. So everything was different. It was like, wow, okay, what do we do now? So yeah, it was the unraveling of it all. God, the initiation, when I think back, the initiation was pretty extreme and intense.
Often is.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like, actually starting the journey of Pause for Thought in 2016, that when I look back to that and just kind of dog walking, that was relatively easy. All I was worrying about was getting a contract and, just checking in and going and having the initial consultation of just checking that I could, fit the right dogs with the right dogs at the right time, and managing the time scales and getting the right ones in the car and making sure I can drop them home okay, and all that goes with that, and making sure the care was taken. It was just the surface level stuff of what was to come when I think about it. So I had 4 years of it being quite easy, really, before I went, yeah, let's go further. Let's do the next stage. Yeah.
Amazing. So can you tell us a bit about Harvey, what he bought and what he taught you? And then also Pedro now as well, what he's bringing you and the kind of differences between them.
Oh, golly. Yeah. Okay. So Harvey's nickname is Woo Woos, which says a lot. So he's the spiritual advisor that came into the world to stare straight. One of those dogs that stares into your soul. That's it. There's no getting away. They're like, they see me. They've gone in deep. They can see. They know everything about me. Oh my gosh, what is this? Yes, that was Harvey. Harvey also liked to eat everything. So he was teaching us boundaries, and where they weren't, where we didn't have them. It took a while. It took a few operations. I think he had 5 or 6 stomach operations. Yeah, I managed to survive each one, but each one was a rocky road. It started as a puppy and it ended his life too. That was how he went out.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
So, well, it was so in between, then I trained in the dog training world to still understand him, couldn't understand him because he didn't quite fit that criteria, but it was more about the animal communication and the energetics. And he was, yeah. So you couldn't leave a bag on the floor or a coat or anything with a pocket. He would be in, rip it open, it would be done. Kitchen cupboards would be open, he'd open the oven. It was a mission to keep him alive. And that was actually, in truth, the truth of what I was running my life was he was getting me to see the depth of I was running in survival mode and I was running in trying to make sure everything else was okay around me, that everybody else was good, then I would be okay, in which case I could survive. And that's the depth. He took me to another level on this one of extreme stress and anxiety of making sure, is it safe? Is the place safe? Is he going to be okay? No, he's not. He's eaten something. We need to rush him to the vets. Is he going to make it? Well, we don't know. We can't even see anything on the scan. Every time they could not see anything on a scan. Every time there was nothing there to see. Even the bouncy ball he swallowed it didn't show up, wasn't there. That all these different things weren't there. And every time we had to go in, open him up, and they opened him up and trust that he would come out the other side. And it was rocky because the more he had, the worse it got. And then one day, nearer the end of his life, a week before he passed, I had the conversation with him and said, I feel you're ready to go, but I can't make that call. Okay. I honor you, and I know it's your choice to let me know if you're ready to go. And then I just felt it and I went, and I think we know there's only one way you're going to do that. Because I've said you're not having any more operations. You've asked me no more operations, no more doing treatments on you, no more. It's about me doing me and everyone doing everybody else. And you've had 2 years where you've been an amazing dog, a senior dog, of just lying upside down on the sofa, happy as Larry, going out for your sniffs, going out for your walks, your roly-polies in the frosty mornings and the rain and the wind with your ears blowing and loving it and feeling alive. You've done this for 2 years without any traumas, which is the same length of time that Pedro has been here with him at that time. And I say, you know what it's going to be. So if you eat something, if you find something, I am not preventing it anymore. I'm done. I'm not going to rescue you. I'm not going to save you. I'm going to honor you and we're going to do the right thing. And that was on the Monday. Wednesday, got a phone call from Isabella to say, Harvey's just eaten the chicken wing bones off my plate. I was like, has he now? Okay, then. Okay. Don't worry. It's all right. It's fine. I know what this means. So I just messaged everybody and just spoke to the daughter, all 3 of them, and just said, you've maybe got 2 days. This is what's happened, and this is what we're looking at. And I checked in with him the next day. I was supposed to go to an adult horse camp to go and do my equine communication. And again, he's the reason why I'm doing it. So I just said to him, do I have time? Is this something I can go and do? Is that okay if I can go and do it? And he absolutely, you go and do this. This is what you're supposed to do. I'll still be here when you get back. It's fine. So I did, and it was amazing. And I got back late in the evening and he was still there. And I was like, wow, okay. And then overnight, that was Thursday evening. And then in the night, he started to get really restless, which I know because I've been through this before with him. I was like, okay, they're stuck. They're not passing through. You're blocked. Phoned the vets in the morning, and just said what was going on. And they gave a time in the afternoon to come down. And that would be that time. And that's when we spent the morning together with him in the garden and let Olivia know what time we were going to the vets, if she could get time out from work. We could then get a FaceTime, and then Eloisa was here and home, and Isabella was at work, and she asked to be picked up. So everybody was together with him. Pedro came with us as well, and we all went to the vets. Olivia was on the FaceTime, and we sat with him, and we spent that time with him before he had his injection, which just it didn't even finish giving to him, and he left. And it could have been really traumatic. It could have been really awful, like all the other times, but I let it all go and honored him finally in the way that he knew and understood, and I knew and understood what that meant. No more trying to make things better. No more trying to keep anybody safe. It's time to let go and let be. And I did, and we did. And he taught us right till the end. Yeah, which isn't even a year ago. That was last 10th of May last year. Yeah, 2024. Yeah. So he was that deep.
Oh, emotional. Oh, he was absolutely like an amazing dog. But also how beautiful that is that you were able to honor him in that way and let him decide and be the one to lead in the way that he was going to go.
Yeah, it took a lot because obviously I've been rescuing him every time before there, preventing, rescuing, saving. This has been my whole identity, that he's been getting me to wake up to. You don't need to do this and be this anymore. You're more than this. This is not who you are, but this is what you've taken on board as a young girl to keep yourself safe. So he completely got me to wake up to it. And yeah, it was such an honoring. I didn't really know the depth of it. In fact, I'll be honest, the depth of that is really as we're coming up to his year anniversary, it's starting to unfold even more because, of course, been grieving the loss of him, and also the nervous system has been getting over how dysregulated I've been through that whole process as well of keeping him alive. Then that's the beautifulness of how Pedro's come in. And of course, no coincidence, is coming as a rescue dog. But I don't like to see him as a rescue dog. I like to see, interestingly, he had a family before us. He did have a family before us, and they beautifully honored him and understood that they couldn't give him what he needed, so surrendered him and gave him the opportunity to have a whole new life with somebody else, which is amazing. I mean, that is in itself. So as I was going through that transition of letting go of Harvey before and just said, would you like to stay and just be here and be a senior dog? They were doing the same with Pedro and seeing and letting go of him. And then he came into my awareness. And the minute I put a call out for, and Isabella had wanted a pug for 9 years, and, I'd finally gone, okay, we're going to do this. And within a week, he was in our home. And, then I look back and think, he's the Pedro I saw on their social media, going, God, what an amazing pug. Whoever gets him is going to be really, really lucky. Wow, he's stunning. I didn't even consider that he would come home to me and be part of my life. And he's a full part of my life. It's like, oh my God, I'm just like, I've been pugged.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of pugs and stuff,
But
No, me
this
neither.
dog is
the most wonderful dog. He is absolutely, I love him.
He is. He's just this, he's a pug of love. And it's just a breath of fresh air compared to, obviously, Harvey got me to where I needed to be. he totally, when he came in, I checked in with Harvey's. He's the right dog for us. He was like, absolutely, that's why he's here. You don't need to question it. This is the next part of your life that you're going to be doing. He's like, oh, okay, this feels a bit easier. This is a nice transition. And so he's come in and gosh, yeah, does he he gets me to slow down. So he's about me slowing down. He's about me being in my body, sitting still and feeling the feelings, doing the deep inner work on a different level that I was avoiding doing while I was rescuing and saving everybody else. So he gets me to sit still with myself, which at times has been very uncomfortable, but it's well needed. And I know that. He also has shown me, so the other thing he's shown me is disassociation, which is something that I know very well. And that's the other part of me that he's got me to recognize and see that I've done also when things get difficult. I disassociate. It's a lot easier just to disappear out of my body, not be quite here, not be fully present, and maybe not take full responsibility for everything that I need to, or go into the rescue savior mode. And again, that's not doing me, that's doing somebody else, that's going somewhere else. So he's beautifully got me to see that actually when you're disassociated, he's not going to connect on that walk. He's just going to look at me and go, yeah, I see you, but I'm actually good over here. Thanks very much. I'm just going to do my own thing and I'm just going to wander off in the opposite direction. So, okay. Okay, well, okay. So he's got me to do my animal communication, the energetics, and really hone in and fine tune where is he on there? Where am I here? Where do I find him to connect to him and talk to him? Where is he when he disassociates? Where does he go? And where can I find him? And where do I go? Where can I bring myself back in the energetics to then go, hey, buddy, can you feel me? Can you hear me? And then he does. And it's with pressure off. It's always with when the pressure comes off and I drop into getting curious and finding him, that's where I find him. So he's teaching me the energetics of where to really fine tune and go in. The minute I do that, he literally will turn around, look at me, and pelt as much as a pug does pelt. The little ears going, and it's like a pony, a little pony coming and looks like those farewell ponies, that's what he is. And he's coming along and coming to me, and I'm like, oh God, that feels good. And then he gets me back in my body. He's back in my body, and we're like, yep, that's good. Didn't take much, did it? So he's definitely that. And that teacher. Just always just so squidgem.
I know. Oh, I love him. He's amazing.
He is. And so many people go, I did not like pugs until I met Pedro.
Yeah.
It's like that part. So it's that part of us that we don't want to own, right? So he gets us to see something that we don't particularly like for whatever reason. And I was dead against it. Don't like the breeding. Why are you doing that? It's restricting their airways. I'm not up for it. So as having one a pug that's already been bred, I'm not adding to it. I'm bringing in a different way in my mind. And just allowing that energy in, that connection in of, oh, okay, those bits, those uncomfortable bits, those gnarly bits that we don't want to own, they're all right. They're all right. Yeah, we can love them. Yeah, we can soften into them. And then when you soften in, you're just like, oh my God, I've melted.
Let's talk a bit about horses. So can you tell us about the work you do with horses and their owners?
Yes. So I work as an animal intuitive and communicator, and I use both words because it is definitely tuning into the intuition side to be able to communicate what it is that needs to be said once we start unraveling it. And it might not necessarily be exactly what the horse says or the human, but it might be then the threads that I get to find that communication or be intuitive enough to go down there. So that's how that works with that. And also the energy healing in helping the horses release when they've got the stuck energies or the emotions within their bodies as well. So working with the horses, I predominantly at the moment get to work with horse and rider and go to their yards and or on the adult horse camps and get to see what it is that's going on with them, see if they've got a backstory, or what their backstory is, check in with the energetics of the horse and where they might be storing that, if they've had an accident, or say if, especially lots, if they've traveled from Ireland over to here. So I've got one that traveled from Ireland, and it was a very quick decision where 1 minute he was out in the field having a wonderful time. He had a female horse that he absolutely loved, and he just didn't see what was coming at all. And then very quickly the energetics changed. They were all put onto a huge horse lorry to bring them over to Ireland, and they were ferried over, and it was all a big rush. And and he endured. At the back of him had the full thrust of all of them being put on, but also it felt like either a metal bar or something that was made to make them move quicker and faster and get them to conform. So it was worlds away from where he'd just been. And all this energy, and he didn't know what was happening, and it didn't feel good, it didn't feel right. And he was still, so at the back end, he's very reactive, really reactive, more so than most. So energetically, so there for me, I would work energetically, feeling in and seeing where that is. And so just to give that example, that at the back, it's taken a few sessions for him to really allow me to get round the back of him to start with and go there. I didn't go there for the first few sessions because it was a biggie that he's been holding on to. But because there was something that came up in the week for him, I thought, okay, we're ready to go round. So just clearing that energy, that emotion, while he got to show me what was going on. So he sent me pictures. I got to feel and see what that was at the back, and we got to let that go and release that energy. So that's one way I can work with them. They might have an actual physical injury in the body as well, which others have, and then going in, or they might have ulcers or something. So we get to feel what that is, where that's come from. I don't diagnose any illnesses or anything like that. That's not what I want to, that's not what I'm here to do. But I certainly can feel if there's the uncomfortableness of it that has resulted in ulcers, or maybe they're just starting to get that change within the stomach. And also feeling the energetics of that with their rider, that their companion, their human companion, and what's going on with them, because it's never going to be separate from. So there's always something relatable between the two when they come together. And it depends. Sometimes I might start with the thread of the human first. There might be something there. And quite often when I walk into the space with them, and it could be in a field, could be in a stable, it could be just sort of tied up just outside the stable, or it could be with a photo and a connection on Zoom and what that looks like. So there's many different ways that I can do it, and it'll all be the same. Whichever is supposed to come through first as the way in will be I'll get shown what that is. So sometimes the human, the owner might be there, and they might suddenly be overwhelmed. They're like, God, I just feel this overwhelming urge to cry. It's like, great. And that tends to be what I bring as well to start with, because of course they're holding on really tightly. The emotions are stuck and they bottle them down. And this is part of the work of doing this, the energetics. And so they get to release that, and then we get to go in deeper of what that is. And there might be a mirroring of the ailments that are going on. There might be some horses get shut down, and again, they're not fully in their body and they don't want to be here. It's likely that the human that they're with now is also one who does the disassociation, who doesn't want to be fully in their body. They don't feel safe. So again, we feel into that and see what's happening. And I kind of bounce across from one to the other when I'm working with the horse and the human. and human back to horse, and the energies of it with the communication. We're checking in with the horse, what they want to tell us. Sometimes they don't want to express until the human has, and then once the human has, then it gives them permission to be able to do it too. They feel safer. So, and also I'm working with the energetics of, if I'm suddenly with a human who this is brand new for them, they've never been there, never done this before, they're not going to do them straight away. That's too big a ask. And usually the horse will know this. And so they will do them, and they'll play the game of, yeah, I'm happy, out in the field with my companions, or yeah, I like going out for a good hack. Yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy going out with X, Y, and Z, and they might show me the other horses that they want to go out with. And I really love it when I love having carrots, or whatever it is that they love. So they'll do that stuff to just start bringing them in. But ultimately, they know I'm not there for that. They know I'm not there for, do you prefer this rug or that rug? Do you prefer to be in or, out at this time? That's not what they know. I've come, and I'm coming to do the deeper work with them. And also for them, sometimes they hold that space for their human, but also sometimes the human will hold that space for the horse too, knowing that their horse isn't ready to go to that space, isn't ready to do that.
Sorry, he's just turned upside down and she's eyeballing me with her massive eyes. Sorry.
She's enjoying this, isn't she?
She is. She's having a whale of a time.
See, they love these conversations.
Yeah.
They love it. So when we open up, and that's beautiful. Thank you, Ada, because actually that's it there. So when we speak truth, when we go to the truth of what it is, even if it's difficult, this is what happens. They get all silly and they get free, and then they then take themselves off. They, quite often the horse will relieve themselves, and they'll do a poo or a wee, or they might want to roll, or they then go and eat, and they're happily eating. They're like, great, we're on it. And then they'll snort it through, or they'll start yawning, bringing it through the body. The energetics are like, oh God, we've hit a jackpot. And that's it there. So rolling and being upside down, like, hello, not necessarily in a horse, but the horse will start really stretching it through, bringing it through. And that's it. That's when that uncomfortable conversation brings relief. But in that, I've really had, the horses have taught me, oh my God, if I thought the dogs were teaching me something, it was nothing. It was an initiation to get me ready for the horses, right? Because they're next level. It's next level stuff if you think about it, in 2020, 2021, I was too scared to even go in a stable with a horse, let alone a field. So, to me, that either or, I had to work through that to be able to work with them. And now I'm just like, oh my God, who was that person? It's like completely different now. I know when it's not safe and I don't step in. I know the boundaries. I have that communication. So it doesn't matter how big or how small the horse is, the pony is, the Shetland is, whatever. It just doesn't matter anymore. That's all gone. But I do know what they've taught me is you're the one to have the difficult conversations, whether you like it or not. You chose to do this, and you said you would come and do this. Not an easy path, but we are going to help you. We're going to train you. We're going to teach you. We're going to hold space for you. They've healed me. Certain horses have healed me of things in sessions where they've come over and either rested on my shoulder. Even the other week when I was volunteering for the Riding for the Disabled, I was doing some healing on one of the ponies before we went out, and he then came over and nuzzled his nose straight into my heart and my chest. And he just stayed there, and I went, oh, wow, bless you. You're doing some healing on me. Okay, thank you. I honor you. I see you, because that's empowering for them. That's when we get to see them. That wisdom, that gift. Oh, it makes me all emotional. Oh, they just, they're next level.
I imagine that sometimes it's a little difficult to navigate owners. Because I think about back to before I sort of thought was kind of opened myself up to thinking about horses in this way and seeing them in a totally different light, it would have been a very big shock to kind of be met with this kind of work. So how do you navigate that?
Well, I had my Dawn. My Dawn, as a human, initiated me. She was my initiator. Threw me in at the deep end where she could see what I could do. I didn't see what I could do. She did. But I did say, I'm going to come do this. And she was my initiator that initiated me into the work in this way, because coming to the adult training camps, a lot of the people now, I'm in my third year of doing this, so there are people who now know me, which is wonderful. But that first year that I turned up, that first horse, Dave, bless his heart, no longer with us, or his human, Andrea, she's no longer with us, and that's been a massive journey. Dave initiated me, Dawn initiated me, Dave initiated me, and Andrea initiated me, because and it was a 2-hour journey to Norfolk in the car on my own, going and doing something I knew I had never done before. I'd never done it before. I didn't even know what it looked like. I didn't even know what it felt like. I had no clue what it was going to be. And I just remember that 2-hour journey really feeling quite warm, quite uncomfortable. It's like, right, okay, listen to some podcasts, get yourself in the zone, listen to some good music, start, feel into it. Own your emotions, own your feelings. I literally got out of the car door, shout, right, come with me. It's like, oh, okay, there's no stopping. Okay. And there was Dave at the back of the stable where he always resides, didn't ever want to come forward. And there was Andrea, full of emotion, full of not knowing what it is I did. Dave like going, I don't know what this is. And me not knowing what I did, right? So there was just all of this all at once came together. Nobody knew any of it. And yet in that moment, Dave turned around, he stepped forward, and he came and put his head over the stable door. And he just greeted me like a long lost friend. Like, oh, thank goodness you're here. And I just dropped in. And Dawn dropped in. And Andrea dropped in. And everybody just went very silent around us. And in that moment, I realized something very special in that connection of, okay, it really doesn't matter if the human doesn't know or understand or trust. The main thing is I do. The main thing is I drop into this energy, into this heart space, into this coherence together to allow us to have a talk, to allow Dave to be seen. And when that happened, Andrea just totally dropped into her being seen. So that piece of being with the humans when they don't quite often, because when I'm coming to the adult horse camps, they've never had an animal communicator. They don't know what it is. They're curious about it. So they're kind of like book in, because Dawn's enthusiasm gets them to book me in. And then I come and do it. And they're like, I have no idea what this is, but I trust in it. There's something, it's around trust. Energetically, if I'm putting out there to trust in this, trust in me, trust in what I bring, it's amazing. It's beautiful. And I have to stay in that frequency to allow them to feel the safety of me, the safety of what I do, the safety, and I have to trust in whatever's going to come up is going to be real. And trust in that they may not trust. They may not believe, and that's okay, because it's not my job to make them believe. It's not my job to fix them. That's that beautiful training from Harvey. It's not my job to rescue anyone. That's not what I'm doing. It's my job to fall into the pug of love energy and to be there in that moment, to trust in myself with all that I've done and the work I've done on myself, so that I can hold that safe space for whoever is around me, whether they believe or not. They get to feel the magic. Like Chris with Ada, he didn't question it, he felt it. He got to witness it and he went, and then the magic unraveled. And that's what it is. So then when suddenly they'll just drop something in, so either their horse will say something, they'll show me something, they'll bring something forward, someone from the other side might come in, and they might come into their awareness, it might come into my awareness, somebody who's passed over, who's relevant to why they've got the horse, and I connect there. Or it might be something within them that's just happened and I can feel and pick up on. This is why I say I'm intuitive communicator, because that's what it's all about. And then they'll be like, I don't get that. How did you know that? How did you do that? And it's like, it's just unraveling. I'm just tuning in. Don't worry, I won't get shown anything I don't need to know. You're not, your horse is not going to suddenly say that you're a bad, because they worry that they're going to be saying that they don't like them, that they're a bad owner, that they don't do, whatever that is. They worry and they go on the negative things, and it's like that's not going to happen. So that's why it's so important to build that trust and safe space. And that's an energy, that's a frequency that I need to bring, that the horses have shown me. Dave showed me straight away what that is. It's that heart coherence. I forget about anything else. I'm not anything else. It's not about me. It's about the connection. It's about tapping into the energies of everything around us so that we can put it into words what it is, and then release the feelings of what that is so that then we can do the work. So, and I've beautifully been working with a lady who I met on the horse camps as well a couple of years ago. And there's the videos with JJ where she's beautifully filmed and allowed for that to come through. And JJ's changed so much. She's changed, of course, because it's a synchronicity between the two of them as she gets a deeper understanding of something in JJ, and then, oh, it's me too. Then alters something in her life, which alters something back to JJ in his life. And it's just that beautiful unfolding. So, she was a complete skeptic, as she said, she came from corporate world. She did not know about this. This was not a thing, but something her gut said, have a session. And her gut then said, or her heart, I should say, her heart said, have a session. Her heart said, do more. Her heart opened up to being vulnerable and allowing it to be videoed. It's huge. It's massive. And again, that just brings me back to bringing in that safe space where someone can trust, when someone feels safe, that they can drop in, because you can't help but then go away and start wondering. And seeing things differently. You can't undo it. Once you've gone there and witnessed and felt and seen something in one of those sessions, you can never come back from that. You might try to. It's going to be very uncomfortable.
So with the work that you do, have you got any kind of advice or any tips or things that you've learned to share with people that they can kind of take if they want to start doing this kind of thing with their own horses?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's where my pause, breathe, do you method came up. It's come in, and really see this as a really useful tool for people, because quite often we're so busy, especially getting a horse ready or doing something or feeding or getting in and out from the field, whatever it is. It's usually quite a busy environment as well. So definitely, it's definitely about taking a moment just to pause, take a breath. And usually when we properly pause, we innately breathe. We take a deep breath. We'll find that we'll do that anyway, which just allows us to center ourselves, come back to the fullness of us, where we're at. It calms our body, calms our nervous system, and it gets us back into the heart coherence, which is really important if we're wanting to connect and feel further in with our horses or with anything. So this works with anything, but it's beautiful with the horses. And then I get people to, first of all, what do you need in this moment? First and foremost, where you're either up against something or time or whatever it is, or you've come and you're kind of looking or questioning, or maybe your horse is a bit poorly, or there's something going on, or you just feel something's off and you want to check in. Just take a moment to pause, take a moment to breathe, do some long, slow breathing. Just like I say, get your body back into rhythm. That rhythm, that then you can connect to the heart of your horse and in your energy, their energy field. Now, if you're in their space, remembering how far out their energy field comes, their heart energy, and remembering you're in their space. So slow yourself down if you want to be able to hear, see, feel, drop into your intuition to be able to find out what it is that maybe you've got a question and you're looking for an answer, or just that deeper connection on that level. This is what you'll need to do. And just check in with you, just check in with your emotions, just check in with where you're at, because of course they're going to mirror us otherwise. So if we're not owning that we might be slightly frustrated or angry or sad or whatever it is, there's just a bit of an irritant there or a bit of that emotion that we're pretending I'm okay, I'm fine. We just drop into it. We don't necessarily have to go into it in full detail, but we just need to own it. Just know it's there. Innately, though, as you pause and you breathe, you're probably likely going to allow the flow for that emotion just to be released a little bit. So the pressure's off. The pressure's off you. So whatever you've got going on. And then that releases the pressure of that communication of where you're wanting to connect further and wanting to be in, because of course the horse doesn't like the pressure. That'll give them a resistance anyway. So that's why this pausing, breathing, do you is so important, to relieve the pressure, allow that to come off. And then you can just take a moment and just feel into what it is that you can feel, what you can sense with them. Now, it comes in quickly, comes in so quickly that we can miss it. And this is why I get us to pause and breathe so that we can hear it, see it, feel it, smell it, taste it, whatever it is. And if you're really busy and you're not settled and taken that moment to pause and breathe, you're going to miss it. And then you're going to go into your mind, and you've gone into your mind, and of course your mind's going to give you 101 reasons why not to believe anything, and that start questioning whether you are connecting. Is that true? Is that isn't? Or the mind's going to give you a whole other answer and take you down a whole other rabbit hole that's not true. So it's definitely the biggest thing I can offer up is my method. Pause, breathe, do you. Then you can do them. And it's allowing for that time, allowing for that to come in and that connection. You can do this even when you're not with them. So even if you're thinking about them and you're at home, like you might wake up in the morning and start thinking about your day and thinking, okay, I'm going to be a bit rushed when I get to the yard. I'm going to and you might already be projecting that over onto your horse and the energy there. And they might already be going, oh, hang on. What's this? What's this? Oh, you haven't got, oh, that feels a bit gnarly. You're not got time. That feels a bit right. Oh, I'm starting to get, they might start get a bit restless. They might start pacing in the field, or they might think, oh, I'm not going to come in. You haven't got time today. Well, okay, I'm going to play up then because this is pressure, and they can feel it. They can feel that pressure on. So just feel yourself, even when you tune in, the minute you wake up or you're thinking about them, take your time, pause, take a breath, then feel into what it is. Feel into, okay, I know I haven't got much time, but I'm not going to rush them. What I'm going to do is make sure I've got everything else set up. And I'm going to make sure that when I go, there's pressure off. I'm not going to let my heart race. I'm going to stay with my breath, going to take my time. And I'm going to connect with them first and say, I see you. Hi, how are you? How are you? I love you. I see you. How have you been? Connect first, whatever it is, whatever your chosen words are, whatever they are. It's really important to take that moment just to connect in. It is definitely us doing us, owning us, means we're going to have a much better relationship with our horses and everybody, because it's about the relationship with ourselves. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank
And if people want to follow you on social media, find out a bit more about what you do, where can they find you?
So yes, everything is on. I'm on Instagram, Soul Awakening. I'm on Facebook. I'm under Anna Olivia on Facebook, or Soul Awakening, so you can find me there. Instagram is very much soulawakening.love, I think it is. Yes, soulawakening.love. My webpage is soul middle score awakening.love again. And all information is there. You can contact me there. You can ask for a discovery call. You can DM me on any of my social medias. I'm on LinkedIn as well, under Anna Olivia there too. Yeah. I believe I'm on TikTok too, but I have no idea what that's under. Yeah, so you can follow me, you can DM me, you can reach out, you can have a look on my website, see what I'm doing. I run weekly meditations, co-hosting with another lady for forgiveness courses. I'm bringing through those. You can ask for my free worksheet on the pause, breathe, do you method as well. So that's on there. There's going to be more coming. Yeah, and I'm always happy to have conversations with people about where they're at and what their needs are going forward, and see if we can do something there to help. Yeah.
Amazing. Great.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you.